We're going to look at this ISTEP sample question that we did. So Malcolm wants to make a stage out of wax to display his model cars, and here's a diagram. What is the volume in cubic inches of the stage? So when it says volume, if you look at your reference sheet, there's two things we talked about with volume. One was rectangular prisms or right rectangular prisms. The other one was cylinders. So out of those two options, I don't see any circles or anything here, so it looks like we're going to be dealing with rectangular prisms. So a couple different ways we can split this up actually is what we need to do. You can split it two different ways here. We could split it vertically or we could split it horizontally. I just split it vertically here. So we can call it A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. One nice thing about A, B, and C, I guess, is that we've got letters, so we're not getting confused letters and numbers about what's going on maybe as much, but somehow label that. So we're just multiplying our dimensions of these objects, length, width, and height. So if you'll notice, if we go on A, the 2 and the 4, or sorry, the 4 and the 4 I can see here. The other dimension I don't see. If you look, I circled in blue over here, way on the right side. That would be 8 inches, front to back, same as this over here. So we're actually going to be multiplying 8 times 4 times 4. If you put those in a different order, you'd still get the same answer because we're just multiplying the three numbers together. So 8 times 4 is 32, and then 32 times 4. 128 should be our volume for A. We look at part B, or section B. Same idea. We're going to multiply our dimensions. On B, we're going to have a 4 going across here. We'd still have an 8 going front to back. And then the height is, the bottom part here was 4. And then we have a little 2 here on the side. So we would add the 4 plus 2, which would be 6, would be our height there. So length is 8, width is 4, height is 6. And again, we might kind of make mention of how we got that 6 since it wasn't there to begin with. So 8 times 4 again is 32, times 6 is 192. Kind of highlight what we came up with so far. And then one more section we've got is C. Length is still 8, and then the width is going to be 4, and the height's going to be 2. So we do 8 times 4 times 2. 8 times 4 is still 32, times 2 is 64. And then once we've got that, we could add these together. If you want to number your work here, because I kind of put myself in a corner where I've got to add over here. Looks like the last thing I did. It's really the first thing. Or it looks like the first thing. It's actually the last thing I'm doing. So then add those together, and what do you get? It's 384. So 384 cubic inches would be our answer. So that's part A. If we look at part B, Malcolm knows 1 pound of wax will fill 30 cubic inches. And a 5-pound bag of wax costs $8. What is the cost of the wax Malcolm needs to buy to make this stage? Do not include tax. So we've got 384 cubic inches. We know 1 pound of wax is going to fill 30 cubic inches. So first we could figure out how much wax we would need. So if we take 384 divided by 30, that's going to tell us how many pounds we need, because, you know, how many 30s do we need? That's how many pounds we need. So 384 divided by 30 is 12.8. What that means is we need 12.8 pounds. They are selling them in 5-pound bags. So we could maybe just think about how many 5-pound bags we would need. If it's a really big number, we might want to divide that out. So 12.8 divided by 5 to figure out how many bags we need. So if you do 12.8 divided by 5, 2.56. Okay, so that means 2.56, 2 and 56/100 bags that we need. Well, means we're going to have to buy 3 bags. Okay, we're going to have to round that up to 3 bags. So 3 bags, and the bags are $8 each, so what will we do? So you multiply $8 times 3, and that would be $24. Remember, when you get your answer, make sure you write your final answer on the answer line that they give you. Okay? A different approach you could take for this problem, and I have a hard time sometimes thinking of different ways to do these problems, but a different approach you could take is think about, for one bag, 1 pound is 30 cubic inches. So 5 pounds would be 150 cubic inches. Okay? So a 5-pound bag would be enough for 150 inches. So that's enough for one. And then if you wanted to, you could say, well, if we had 150 and another 150, so 2 bags would be 300. We need 384, so it looks like we're going to need another 150. Would be 450, and that would be enough. We'd have a little bit left over. Okay, again, that's just an alternate approach. And there are other ways potentially that you could figure this out also, but just giving you an idea of a couple options on doing this.